channel. My name is Joni if you're new here, and I'm going to be showing you step by step exactly how to paint this Ballerina Tutu today in real time. So hit that subscribe now and let's get painting. Okay everybody, so we're working on a 16 by 20 black primed canvas today. I want it to be dark and moody for the background and really have the tutu in this dress start to show up with different layers in the tulle gradually, and then have a few little hints of color in the little flower blossoms, little stars, and possibly I might add a few little butterflies as well. We'll see how the painting progresses throughout the video, but I've got a few colors here on my palette. I've got some black in case I need it, some titanium white, lemon yellow or yellow cool, turquoise or bright green aqua, light ultramarine blue or blue violet, neon pink, and neon orange. So these are the colors that I've chosen, but you can choose any colors that you want to add for all your little bits of flowers and butterflies. I'm gonna begin this painting with a little Filbert brush. It's a number 8, and I'm just gonna start with a shape. So I'm gonna do light gray first. I'll just do this sort of in a light gray scale first to begin, and then build up with my highlights, shadows, and color. Okay, so I think I'm gonna start maybe right about here, and I'm just gonna do some little dabs like this. And this is just for the little straps on her shoulder. And then another one right about here. Just little taps and dabs like that. And then we're going to go down. So it looks like a bird or the top of a heart. Okay, and then I'm going to come down like this. Start to just push flat with my brush with that light gray, and then I start on this side because this is where the light's hitting and it's going to be brighter, and then I'm going to ease off as the paint runs out of my brush gradually on this side to where we'll have a shadow here. Now I'm going to take advantage of hardly any paint in my brush right now and use this to add a little bit of a soft glow, just a little bit of a glow here on excuse me, on the outside. Just something really soft and subtle like that. Okay, I'm going to take some more paint now, that light gray again. I'm going to bring this in so it comes out slightly there, and then in towards her waist, in and then out like this. I'm going to do the same thing. Start to scumble and work out that paint. I'm going to leave a bit of a shadow down here. Again, work out that paint gradually over here so we've got that shadow happening. And I'm going to just add a little bit more white to my gray here. And I'm going to start to do little dabs for a little bit of a design happening on her dress. We don't really know what's going to be there yet. And now I'm going to start to pull out for the tulle or crinoline type of look that we want our dress to have. So some areas, right, we're going to have those folds, and those folds are going to be where they fold over and stick out. They're going to be the brightest. And don't worry about the end of your dress because that's all going to be sort of concealed and camouflaged with all the pretty little butterflies and flowers that we're going to add. I'm going to add just a little bit of black here, make this darker, so it's going off into shadow over here. Right about here where it meets up with that brighter spot. And then I'm just going to start to scumble these little circles, just sort of scrubbing gently around. That's really all you're doing, guys. Just like this. This is going to be where we're going to have all those pretty little flowers. I'm going to add little dabs here as well. Have this kind of gradually coming down. I'll add more to that a little bit later on. Okay, now I'm going to come in with brighter highlight where I really need it. Right around this side. Gradually over there. I'm going to get as close as I can to these little dabs that are going to be little flowers and leave a dark, little bit of that black background showing just to separate those. Using just straight white now, and maybe whatever's left in my brush. I might have just a hint of gray in there. Grab a little bit of water, not a lot, just a little here to work with to help get that smoother flow of paint out of my brush. And then again with a little scumbles here. Kind of just traveling around with my brush. You can put just lines and folds wherever you want. It's going to look pretty no matter what, as long as you have that black background first before we add the color. It really helps to make all those shadows and depth build up quickly and easily. Just tapping really lightly with the tip of my brush here to create a little bit of a texture of beadwork or flowers. We've got some little butterflies starting to take shape here. I'm going to come in with just a hint of this neon orange with my white. Just to give this bit of a peachy glow to it. I'm going to completely wash that peach color out of my brush, dry my brush off, and take a little bit of my light blue violet. Want to get a little bit in my brush, but I also want it to be kind of dry, so I'm going to wipe the excess off. And I'm just going to start coming in and adding a hint of it in here. Just a little hint of a blue glow. I'm just going to take a little bit more black now because I feel like that's just a little bit too bright, and I feel like it's competing a little bit with the rest of her. I think I want to have this a little bit more in shadow, but you never know till you try, so at least you know you can go over. You can cover that back up. Okay, I'll come back in just with a little bit of blue now. Start to come in with a little bit of color. Right in this shadow area. And dust over just really lightly in some areas with that blue. So here's my round, and it's number 2. And I'm going to start making some little flowers. This is very impressionistic, like I always do. So I'm just going to start dabbing little petals here and there. We can have some going up, some little flowers going up there. You want to have them different sizes, nothing too big. And then I'm going to start taking my pink. I don't want anything too bright in this painting. I want this to stay really delicate looking. I'll add a little bit up here. And then I'm going to do a little bit like this, and then I'm going to soften with my finger to make them start to look a little bit faded. So little dots like this. Now another thing that would work really well is the toothbrush. That might be really fun in this. So I'm just going to take an old or my crafting old toothbrush here, and maybe a little bit of yellow, white. I'm just going to do a gentle little spray here. Just a little bit, nothing too crazy. And I'm going to take that yellow, a little bit of green, a little bit of white, maybe just a little bit more yellow there. And we'll add some little hints of leaves. And soften. Take just a little bit of my black with my yellow. I didn't wash my brush out, so I've got a little bit of that turquoise in there too. I just want to have a little bit of a yellowy, more of a kind of a green gold. And that's a great way to make green gold, is by taking yellow and black. And I'm going to take some of my blue right away before washing my brush off. And let's just add a little bit here and there. And we can have some little butterflies. Just very soft, nothing too over detailed. Going for a very soft, spring-like feel to this painting. Delicate, like how ballerinas are. Okay, I'm going to take some of my blue and some of my pink and make a really pretty lilac-y color here. And I think I'll add some of this Over here, I'm going to use a little bit more blue this time. And I'm just going to scumble out the rest of that paint down here, give it more of a glowy look to it. And come in with a few more flowers. I kind of just take my finger after I do the petals and just kind of pull and then blur it a little, just to blur it a little bit. And that also gives it the feeling of movement. You know, when you get those pictures of something in action or in flight, it kind of just blurs. So that's kind of a pretty addition to this. With that green gold color that I made. Yellow and black, if you missed that. Add a little bit. Maybe a few little petals or stars or something going up here. So a little bit of my neon orange, a bit of yellow and white. I want this to be around the blue area because I know it's really complementary. Well, this color will look pretty anywhere you add it, but I'm just going to cut in here a little bit with my black. Brighten this up a little bit more. I'm going to take a combination of yellow, white, and orange. Very pretty glowy color here. So look, we have the shadow colors on that side. Let's bring some warmth into the highlights and the folds here. You want to add little, not really crisscrosses, but lines that aren't so long. So little ones, because there's so many layers of tulle in their tutus, so it makes sense that there's going to be some folds in there. And just enhance a little bit more of my orange peachy color there just for fun. You could do little roses if you wanted. I can't wait to see you guys' versions up on the Facebook group. If you're not already part of the group, you should really join because it's so fun and everybody's very, very supportive there. You can feel safe and comfortable sharing your versions from my tutorials. And then maybe there's a little bit shadow. So I've got a bit of my light blue violet here, tapping, and then I'm gonna just scumble that off with my finger to give it a blurry look. Then with a little bit of white peach, and a few little flowers right in here, just in the front. Soften a little bit, but not as much. I think I'm just going to pick one or two areas here to have a little bit more detail on the flowers. Not a lot, but just want to be able to see some of these petals a little bit more. And then I'm going to add a little bit of my green gold in the center. Okay, and I'm almost done this painting. I think the last thing I'm going to do is, well, I've got a couple things and then I'll be done. Take a little bit of my yellow and white here. I'm going to twist. I didn't even use my liner brush at all. I was able to use this round brush. Twist my brush to get it nice and pointy on the tip, so I've got quite a bit of paint on the end. And I'm going to do little delicate, almost look like little beads. And I'm going to do the same going up here, across. I'm going to take a little bit more pink. Barely notice that though. Very subtle. Okay, now I've got a Filbert brush. I'm going to do this dry. Take a little bit of my blue and pink. A little bit more blue. I'm going to create this powdery purpley color. And then have it start to fade into that black. Maybe I will do just a couple stars in case you guys were waiting for that and wanting to see how I would do them. So I've got my little liner brush. This one's number 1 from Princeton. And I think I'll add one right here. So I'm just gonna do a little dab, little dot, and then flick. I've got my pinky placed on the canvas to steady my hand. Just really helps. Okay, then I'm gonna do 2 or 3 here. And then inside, re-brighten it with just a fresh dab of white. This was really a lot of fun, something I've never done before, and definitely think I'm going to be doing this again. So I'm just adding the last touches here. A little bit more of my green gold, a few more flowers here. Just a little bit more dots and dabs here that I'm just gonna tap on quickly, not thinking too much about it, and then dab and blur up with my finger. And these could be, who knows, little butterflies, little fairies, little stars, flowers, all those pretty magical things. Okay, so this painting is all done. I hope you guys enjoyed this one today. Leave a like and comment below if you did. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all very soon in my next video. Bye!